Okay, so thank you so much, y'all, for rocking with me through this whole Grand Army review. It's been a pleasure. I love talking to y'all in the comments. Please get in the comments to let me know if there are any other Netflix shows that you guys would like for me to break down episode by episode. Because I notice a lot of people, they don't do that when it comes to Netflix. They just kind of do like the overall season. But if there's any shows you guys would like for me to break down episode by episode, please let me know. I will be reviewing The Crown when it comes out. That's shit. Okay, I will be doing episode by episode breakdown of that. But again, get in the comments, let me know. Shout out to all of the subscribers and everybody who subscribed, anybody who watched. Even if you didn't subscribe, I still fuck with you. So let's wrap this thing on up, shall we? How much time I got left? I got an hour. That's more than enough time. Okay. So we're gonna get into the last episode, and at the end of the episode, I will then give my overall thoughts of the show as a whole. Maybe some things I think that might happen next season, what I want to happen. Alrighty, so I had to go back through episode 9 just to make sure I had everything right. Alright, so at the beginning of every episode, you would see somebody like typing something else. It would be like 1 or 2 sentences, and then at the end of every episode, they would complete the sentence. So this whole time, we've been trying to figure out like who the hell is writing it. At first, I thought it was maybe Sid, but no. Come to find out, it's Layla's off-kilter ass, okay? And apparently, she pretty much writes this whole email or whatever, and pretty much it's like a bomb threat, because at the end of it, she was like, it's gonna be sharpnel everywhere. Now, she did say a lot of offensive things. I think she was like, something about like the filthy Asians, the Arab terrorists, something else. All I know is she said, attention whore, the attention whore blacks. Who the fuck is she talking to? And I am so confused, Miss Layla. The only attention-seeking whores I've seen on this show so far are white women. White women and your thirsty ass. So if anybody is attention-seeking, bitch, it's you, and bitch, it's these white whores. Don't, everything else was wrong. Everything else was bad. But because I'm black and I'm a black woman, I'm going to speak on me. Attention whores, though, Dawn is the only one on here pretty much making it work for what she got to make it work, okay? Over here minding her business. So, whoever the writer was of that specific point, that didn't really make any sense in regards to this damn show. Because not one black person on this show was attention fucking seeking. Everybody else, every single last one of these hoes, except the black ones, was attention seeking. So y'all might want to go in and smudge that the fuck out and put something the fuck else. I get the point, but it still bothered me. How dare you? Layla, you got your nerve. Attention seeking? Get her out of here. Okay? So she pretty much sets it for the email to go out. I think it was like at 10:45 in the morning. So Dom ends up meeting the, guy. She had met him at her apartment, but she ends up actually going to the house of the boy that she's supposed to marry. She'd have her own room. He would sleep in the living room, and she's just kind of, going along with the motions, like, yeah, it is what it is, But then they end up having all of these extra stipulations, which I knew that was going to be the case, because I watch 90 Day Fiance, so I know the stipulations of trying to get married for a green card, okay? Because she was like, oh, she wanted to go to like Washington University or somewhere else. You can't do none of that. You got to stay here for at least like 2 to 3 years, okay? You got to go to school here, okay? You better go to SUNY or whatever, or you better take your ass over to, I'm sorry, I'll be looking at notifications when I'm doing that, y'all, on my phone. Or you better take your ass to NYU or something like that, but you ain't going nowhere no time soon. So yeah, the boy was cute enough, but girl, I don't know. Couldn't, shouldn't, wouldn't be me. All right. So now JoJo is finally in the school or whatever that she's going to, the new school, and she's kind of having a hard time in school. She ends up running to the bathroom and end up texting like everybody in the group chat. So that's Lee, George, Tim, and I don't know if Anna's in that too. I'm pretty sure Anna is. She was like, she wants to talk. So I'm like, oh, here we go. Here the F we go. So the boys, of course, they get the text message, and I don't remember who, maybe it was George who said that we shouldn't go. I don't remember. Somebody said, I don't think we should go. Another person was like, no, let's go. Let's see what it is that she has to say. Screenshot the text messages. I feel like there ain't nothing to talk about on both sides. Like, if I'm the guys, I don't want to come and talk to you because the Lord knows what else you going to say. And then if I'm JoJo, there's nothing to talk about because We all know what it is. They ain't nothing to talk about, but that's just me. Um, so Luke and George end up seeing Sid in the hallway, whatever. You know, they tell him, "Oh, we know about you being gay. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal." But then they proceed to go ahead and make jokes or whatever. And I like it. Sid turned around and was like, "Oh, just let me know next time I won't get in the cab with y'all." I said, "You better get their asses. You better get the y'all don't care, but you want to sit up there. You gonna poke fun every time that you have." And that's why people don't like to come out of the closet, because nobody got time for the little slide shit that y'all motherfuckers got to say. And ain't none of y'all cute as far as I'm concerned. Okay. None of y'all is, all right? So I don't know what time hits. I don't know, maybe it's around 10 o'clock, but everybody's sitting in class. Something happens and you just see everybody get up. And everybody ends up leaving the class, you know, and this is them doing the sit-in for Owen. So everybody's in the hallway, you know, doing the sit-in. You know, John, shout out to John. John is going to be like the revolutionary, okay? Because he got all the stats. He know what's going on, all right? So he's, you know, talking about, you know, the school to prison pipeline. Again, like I said, if y'all don't know, you better do your Googles, okay? And during that whole time, you know, Layla is sitting, she's sitting with Omar at the time. She goes sits with him. And she keeps checking her phone because, you know, she's waiting for the email to go out. So, oh, and before that, sorry, before the actual sit-in, Sid ends up seeing Zach and he apologizes to him. But anyway, in my opinion, okay, so whatever. So the email goes out, right? So the principal comes out and is like, we gotta evacuate the building like immediately. This is my thing. First of all, Layla, you're playing bold-faced games, specifically with Omar. I mean, you're playing games, period. But I don't like how you're playing games with Omar. He seems like he's a really, really nice guy, and you're really playing with him, and you're fucking with him. You know that he likes you, and you're fucking with him. Okay. Then after when the evacuation is happening, Rachel runs up to her and is like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know, I'm tired of us arguing. Let's be best friends." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, okay." Manipulative, you manipulative ass freaking felon at that shit made me so mad. I said, yo, I've never in my life seen somebody be so manipulative. There is something wrong with her. I will stand by that. There is something wrong with that little girl. I don't care what nobody fucking say. There's something wrong with her, okay? And then later on that day, so her and Rachel was friends again. Then her and Omar meet up, and she ended up, I guess, getting top, okay, from Omar over it. Okay, so all right, so JoJo goes to the park to go and meet up with Luke, George, Anna, and Tim. Okay, so of course Anna's on defense because bitch, this is my brother. You got my brother in trouble. Like, bitch, like what you guys say? What you? I'm here for Anna. I'm here for Anna and all her energy. Like, what you gotta say? What's up, sis? What's up? So pretty much JoJo pretty much is like, she just kind of wants Luke and George to admit, you know, what happened. She wants them to admit what happened. They're like, girl, what? Like what you want us to say happened? Like nothing happened, you know. It is what it is. You wanted it just as much as we was, you know. We thought you came down here for an apology, which is like, the narcissism is disgusting. Like, bitch, I ain't fucking come down here to apologize to you. I can understand why they would think that, but boy, absolutely not. And so she's like, you guys know what you did. You know what you did. And then she turns to Tim and she was like, say something, Tim. Like, what the fuck? Like, you was there. And she goes off like, you know, you sat there the whole time and you didn't say anything. You didn't do anything. You didn't, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Da, da, da. So she really gets upset. I'm going to get on my final thoughts. I'm going to leave my final thoughts about this whole situation and about Tim in particular, and when I wrap it all up. When I wrap the whole show up. Because I don't really want to go into it right now because I'm going to go on a tangent. But anyway, so you know, so she ends up, you know, running away because, you know, she's upset or whatever. And so, you know, they're like, man, let's get the fuck out of here. But before they do, Tim is like, nah, like, I can't keep doing this. Like, y'all know what y'all did. And Hannah's like, bitch, what they do? Or Tim, what is it that you did? And he was like, y'all know what y'all did. Y'all was wrong. I should have spoke up and I never said anything. And that's wrong as hell. Y'all know what it is that y'all did. And of course, George and Lucas getting on the film like, y'all know what you're saying. Yes, he did. Yes, he got two eyes. I'm pretty sure he got 20/20. He know what the fuck he's seeing, okay? So, yeah. So then we got Dom. She's sitting outside in the park and she sees JoJo coming out of the park, you know, from where she was. They kind of have like a quick conversation. You know, she asks her how she's doing. She says she's fine. You know, they have like a quick little conversation. And again, I don't. Oh, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. Because I have some stuff to say about. I'm gonna get to it. All right. So Dom ends up going home, and there was like a surprise party for her birthday, whatever. She's turned 18. John ended up coming through like he is, like the night he is, the night shining on to come through regardless. He know Bae's going through it. He know Bae was going through it. So he just let her have her moment, but he's still gonna be there, you feel me? So their little party was cute. Then the next day when Dom is at school, all her friends come up to her and they're like trying to get her ready and stuff. And she's like, "What's going on?" So apparently he was gonna do like a prom. What do the young kids call it? Is it a promposal? Let me tell you something. When I went to high school, there was none of this. Let's jump off the window, with the cape and asking, "Can you go to prom?" Like y'all be trying to make it like y'all literally do y'all prom proposals like people do regular proposals. It was none of that. First of all, half the time, most people didn't know who you was going to prom to till you actually showed up to prom. A lot of times that's how it was. Wasn't no big grand ass gestures asking somebody to go prom. Because first of all, don't nobody got time for that. Second of all, ain't nobody trying to get embarrassed. And third of all, we don't give a fuck. Just show up to prom, girl. That's all that really mattered to us. But have it, new generation. Have fun with it. So yeah, but so she ends up telling them like, go tell him like, don't do it. I can't go to prom with him because it's gonna, give off red flags to immigration. So I can't. So they end up, going and telling him, or one of her friends goes and tells him that, she can't do it. Next scene we see, I believe it's John, Jay, not John Jay, John, Jay, and then the other girl, I can't think of her name, with the curly hair that messes with Jay. They're all in the principal's office and they're talking to the principal, just about pretty much how black kids on the campus are treated, how there's a lot of racist shit that be going on, just pretty much how they have to do better. And the principal's like, I agree with all of you guys, but there's only but so much that I can do. There's actually a lot that you can do. You are just like refusing to do it, in my opinion. Like, you're the whole principal of the school. So no, you can't do everything, but there are certain measures that you can make to kind of help alleviate the racial tension or the racial onslaught that's happening to the black students, and y'all just fucking refuse to. And again, it shows y'all don't give a fuck about us. That's why we have to say Black Lives Matter, because y'all don't care. Y'all don't care. And gonna say to I'm sorry, I'm pointing to the screen because he's on it right now. We're going to say to Jay, oh, well, showing like, he's going to do Allstate, and that's one way of doing it. One way of doing what? One way of doing what? Of doing what? It gives me the whole, you see the one black, he's doing good, so shouldn't that give you hope that you can do good too? Shut the hell up. Shut up, okay? So JoJo is in class and they're having like this conversation about like a piece of art or whatever, and the conversation pretty much goes to like, is the woman in the statue, is it pain or is it pleasure? And one of the girls across the table from her kind of tries to make the argument like, it's a little bit of both, like you can be in pain and in pleasure. And JoJo's point was like, at the end of the day, this is all from the gaze of a man, so to him it's gonna be pleasure, but you don't know what it is that she's actually feeling. All tying back to what happened to her. At the same time, throughout like this episode, I think the last episode, and when she was in class, she is like this black girl is like kind of, I don't want to say following her, but kind of like following her. I don't want to say following her necessarily, but like, she sees her around a lot. She sees her staring at her. I think she ended up like DMing her like, girl, like what do you want from me or whatever. So I think I think she said that they're going to end up meeting up, right? So then we get to Layla, and Layla is in her Mandarin class, right? And so remember the first episode when she was reading her paper and all the girls was making fun of her, and the teacher told her paper wasn't good because she needed to find something that was going to connect to her, like her actual life. So she goes and she gives her little speech on her paper. The teacher says she has the best paper, and then the Asian girls before that was making fun of her. I don't know, they call her a whore. I don't know, they talked bad about her, some shit. And then Layla ends up saying back like, oh, in a couple years, you guys will be this, that, and the third, and speak English. And I'm going to get to it when I wrap it up at the end. That part was confusing to me, because I don't understand, like, writers, what were we supposed to get from that part? I'm sorry, I have to say now. What were we supposed to get from that little scene of Layla? Like what? Like, oh, she stood up to them. I didn't see that. I did not view that scene as her finally standing up for herself. It actually came off extremely xenophobic as far as I'm concerned. Yes, they were making fun of her, but the speak English part, what? I don't get it. Like, I did not get that scene. I didn't understand everybody else in the show. I understood to a degree how their storylines were supposed to be wrapped up. I didn't get that part. It was very confusing and it didn't do what I think y'all wanted it to do. Anyway, then Sid, we find out, as far as Sid, let's wrap him up. Sid ends up getting into Harvard. He ends up running into Zach again, and him and Zach have a whole little meltdown. They start kissing, whatever. So that be his boo. Dom end up apologizing to John, for not being able to go to prom, but he understands, and he's a good boyfriend, right? Layla is chilling with Omar, and she ends up getting a text from him saying, like, I want to chill this weekend. Of course you do. You want your little thinky thing stuff. And she's like, well, I don't know if you don't want to be with me because I'm not the same girl that I used to. And he's like, oh, I'm interested. And so she ends up putting her phone down and goes to make out with Omar. Again, I don't know if that part is leaving it open to see what will happen with them next season. Don't really fucking know. Jay ends up going back to Owen's school and telling him, he felt bad about not telling him that he was going to take his spot. So he tells him, of course Owen is upset at first, but at the end he's like, look, just don't fuck it up. Just do what you're supposed to do. Don't fuck it up, all right? And so then we go over to JoJo back at the school, and she ends up meeting with the girl that kept following her and stuff. And the girl ends up telling her, that when she went to go visit, like, her brother or something like that at college, how, I don't know if I can keep saying this word on YouTube, so I'm going to say she was assaulted the same way JoJo was. And how she kind of regrets not saying anything. And she just wanted to tell JoJo that she believes her, and she feels like she was brave. So that kind of gives JoJo, makes her feel better a little bit. Then we switch now. JoJo is finally, she's in dance class. She used to take a dance class. But, with everything going on, she ain't been doing it. So she goes to a dance class. She tells her mom, I'm going to take this dance class, see how I feel. And then the song Freedom starts to play, like, freedom. So I guess this is supposed to pretty much, represent her trying to get her life back and her starting to feel normal again, because she ends up taking off her hoodie and she's dancing and everything like that. While she's dancing, she gets a text from Tim. Not that she sees it during this time, but she gets a text from Tim that's kind of like, can we please talk? And you see him in his room, like, going crazy. He clearly regrets, what it is that he did. Dom goes home and pretty much finds out from her people that they're not going to make her marry, the little boy, that it is what it is. As normal black women, we're going to do what the fuck it is that we need to do. If that means working from sun up to sundown, we're going to get it done. And it just is what it is. So I like that little part. And also to wrap up Dom ends up, going to John's house, and she asks him out to prom or whatever. And then the way that the show ends is Jay, is doing his all-state performance or whatever. And at the very end, he ends up putting like a tape. What is it? An X. It's like a X over his mouth or whatever. And he, goes like that, I guess, in protest of his friend. And that's how the show goes off, y'all. Alrighty. So let's get to my overall thoughts of the show. Where are we at? Let's get to my overall thoughts of the show. Okay. All right. I feel as if the show started off strong, which is why I kept watching it. But I feel like towards the end of the show, the last couple episodes, I feel like the writing got a little lazy. I feel like we could have delved in a little bit deeper to some things. It was just all very surface. Also, I also feel like the purpose of this show, I guess, was to focus on 5 different people, but it never felt like that. It felt like the show was mostly centered around JoJo, and then everybody else just had like auxiliary parts. Like, not that we didn't follow their stories, but I just feel like none of the stories was followed as deep as it was with JoJo. And originally, when the show first came on, the first couple episodes, I thought it was about JoJo, like her being in the center, and then everything else that kind of like spun off of her. but apparently that wasn't the point of the show. If y'all do come back for a season 2, I hope that y'all are able to, like for instance, the whole situation with Jay. Out of everybody, Jay's situation was not focused on as much. The same thing with Layla, other than her being thirsty nonstop. Same thing with Sid. I just feel like if y'all gonna do this next season, can y'all please flesh the stories out enough for each person? I understand there's 5 people, so there's only like but so much you can do. But it was very heavily focused on JoJo. To me, in my opinion. Um, that's just my opinion. That's just how I see it. Let's go through the characters. As far as Jay is concerned, I liked his storyline, him and Owen. I liked the storyline, and I liked how it shows how quick the school system and everybody in general is ready to write off black boys, and how they really don't give a fuck about how it's gonna affect them in the long term. They don't give a fuck. I hope next season, if they do have a season 2, that Owen is able to come back to school and we're able to see them build their relationship up a little bit more again. Um, Again, I really wish they brought the school to prison pipeline up a little bit, but I wish they would have delved into Owen a little bit more. Like, I wish they would have been able to show us things from Owen's perspective just a tad bit more, because yes, Jay was the one who was dealing with the internal struggle of like whether I should take his spot, but Owen was really the one who was like kind of going through it the most. Like, he was the one who really had a like dramatic shift in his life, so I wish we would have been able to see more from his point of view as well. um let's see, Sid, by the end of the situation, by the end of the series, like I said last episode, I feel like with Sid, his story was extremely typical. I literally, from the beginning, from the very first episode, I could already tell that he was gay. Like, I could literally map out Sid's entire story from beginning to the end. I knew everything was gonna go that it went. I knew that once he had the paper, somebody was gonna leak it, and I knew his girlfriend would find out. Like, it was a very typical I know what's gonna happen story. So I don't know how. I don't know if Sid will be back next season. I don't know if y'all will follow him to college. If y'all do, I would hope that y'all would get a little bit more nuanced into his story. Because again, I'm not even part of the LGBT community, but I just feel like if you guys are going to continue, if you're gonna continuously to tackle this issue, you need to give it a little bit more nuance. Make it something that's different. Make it something that we've never really heard or seen before, versus something that's just so typical in the same story that we've heard over and over and over again. That's just my opinion on Sid. Um, Layla needs to be arrested. Mm-hmm. If I don't see the beginning of this next season, the first episode, this little girl being put out in handcuffs, I'm a flip. I'm a flip Netflix over it. That little girl is so fucking manipulative. It's not even funny. And again, I really honestly, I am just, okay. I understand to a degree that part of her story was self-identity, but I don't understand how everything else that she did, nothing else to me that she did makes any type of sense. You didn't even really get to explain to us, other than the fact that Rachel became her friend and she kind of fucked Omar. Can y'all give us more depth into why she sent that email out? Y'all didn't really even give us, like, we seen parts of what she wrote, but she never really even explained the point of her writing that, how she got to that point. It's very vague. And again, the way that y'all ended on her character, again, I don't know what that was supposed to be. I get JoJo at the end dancing in the freedom, and I get Dom at the end being with John, but I don't, and I even get Jay at the end with his protest, but I do not understand. For the life of me, I don't understand how and why y'all wrapped up Layla's story the way that y'all did. Cause to me, it did not make sense. And to me, her standing up and saying, "Oh, speak English," that didn't rub me off like, "Oh girl, you better get them." That it didn't give me that. It gave me, "Bitch, you still a manipulative ass, weird ass bitch, and you're starting to turn into what it is that you don't even like." Even her friend Rachel said that. So if y'all come back next season, we're gonna have to do some more character development when it comes to Layla. Or if not, we need more explanation behind it. Cause her rhyme and her reason made absolutely no fucking sense to me throughout the show. Especially towards the end. What the hell? I could keep going as far as Layla is concerned. I hope she finds the psychiatrist. uh, that she needs, okay? All right? And I hope next season that they find out that it was her little dumb ass who fucking sent that fucking bomb threat. I really honestly truly do. Jojo. Okay. Again, I don't mean to be offensive when I say any of this. I'm actually less talking about JoJo. Again, I said how I feel like this whole show was kind of like based around JoJo. And regardless of what happened to JoJo, I still stand on what I said about in the beginning of this fucking series about her being the clear definition of white feminism. Point blank period. You are only concerned about you, yourself, and what it is that you're going through. You don't give a fuck about the plight of a person of color, especially a black woman, her plight and what the fuck it is that she's going through. You don't care. Dom tried to tell you 5 times to shut your mouth and to get the fuck out of her business, and you wanted to play Captain Save a Hole and jump in where you didn't need to jump in, and look what the fuck happened. So I stand by everything I said about that. Like, peak white feminism as far as I'm fucking concerned. Peak white fucking feminism, okay? Even to me, the way that JoJo, you treated the little girl at the very end who was literally only trying to have a conversation with you. I could go on a whole tangent about that too, if I really truly wanted to. But, so let's get to Tim for a second. And again, I stand by this when I say, Tim was wrong, okay? Tim was wrong. When Tim, especially once Tim went to the station, he should have said what it is. Like, he should have said what happened. However, and maybe this is more so the show's fault and they should have explained this more, but again, from what I understand, what charge would they have given Tim? That's number one. Number two, I just feel as if, I'm sorry, again, Tim was wrong for not speaking up, but I also feel like, JoJo, you put Tim in a fucked up predicament. I'm not talking about the fact that they touched her, but I'm saying leading up to that, you put Tim in a fucked up position because he was trying to make it so that you was just with him. You literally told that boy to mind. He even told you you don't have to listen to him, but I'm saying he tried to tell you you don't need to be doing what you're doing, and you literally gave him your ass to kiss and told him to sit in that fucking corner and to shut his mouth while you made out with these two men, which that's your right. You can tell him whatever it is that you want to, but I just don't think, I think Tim, I don't know. I just feel like he wasn't given like the grace and the degree that he kind of deserved. Like, I don't like how it was really pinned all on him. And I'm not trying to say that it was JoJo's fault either, but I just think that when it comes to Tim, it's a little bit different. That situation is very complicated, specifically when it comes to him in a position that he was put in. And again, like I said, I wish that when all of this happened, I wish, you see how she went and she talked to them later? I wish that she would have taken the time to talk to Tim first. Granted, she could have been upset with him, but remember how when she was at the DA's office, they was like, well, can't you ask the cab driver to corroborate the story? The cab driver and Tim were kind of in the same position. The only difference is that Tim actually knew the people that was in the car, the cab driver didn't, but they both sat there, know what was going on, and didn't do anything. So my thing is, I feel like if the DA, again, and this is another thing too, I wish that the show would have showed us specifically what it is that JoJo told the DA. Like, I would have liked a scene of her explaining to them exactly what happened, so that I can get a little bit more out of it. But if they would now, if JoJo did tell the story the way it actually happened, I feel like the DA would have went to Tim and tried to work something out with him to be like, look, either you about to tell us what happened or X, Y, Z in the third. Because I feel like that's how it really would have been handled in real life. They would have went to Tim and been like, look, either you tell us what happened or you going down with these niggas, point blank period. And that kind of would have forced his fucking hand. Not that it should have been forced, but I just feel like I feel like the situation with Tim in particular was a little bit more nuanced than they presented it on this show, and I wish they would have delved a little bit deeper into that situation in particular when it comes to Tim. Just when it comes to Tim in particular. Again, I stand by what I said. He was wrong. He was wrong. But I wish they would have dived more into the nuance of that entire situation, that whole, that whole dichotomy. That's all. Um, and I still stand by what I said. By the end of the show, I still could not connect with. I could not connect with JoJo as a character. I do not know why, but I could not do it. I just couldn't. I couldn't connect with her. And then Dawn, which is my fucking thing. Bring Dawn back. Bring my bitch back next season, okay? I want to see her doing her internship. I want to see her, in the city, hustling and bustling, going to school. I want to see my bitch doing what it is that she needs to do. I feel like they spent a decent amount of time on Dawn. They did. I don't know what more I wanted, but I wanted more Dawn. And what I wanted to say about, actually, I don't remember, because I was gonna say that when Dom and JoJo was sitting there in the park next to each other, it kind of gave, like, the dichotomy, pretty much, of just going to the same school, but just having who completely different fucking experiences, and the way that they both think. I don't know. In general, this show, it kept me interested. It kept me interested. I know that at the end, I kind of just went off on everything that was bad about the show. But in general, I think the show was okay. I think it started off very strong, but by the end, I was a little bit confused. However, it does seem like they're kind of sort of leaving it open for a season 2. Again, I'm not really sure exactly how this is gonna work, because some of the kids are graduating. But I also did hear during one of the episodes, the news was in the background talking about, well, with the novel COVID, 19 coronavirus. I'm like, okay, so maybe next season they're gonna focus on, the quarantine lockdown and how all of that's gonna play out. Again, Netflix, in general, I feel like y'all did okay. I do not like what I hear in the press about the way that that the main writer was treating writers of color. I didn't find that out until after I watched the damn show. It's disgusting, and it's actually pretty damn obvious after I'm done, because some of these stories, like I said, could have been a little bit more nuanced as far as I'm concerned, especially with the people of color. It could have been a little bit more nuanced. I don't know what you over there doing in your little writer's camp. What's her name? Katie? But Katie, you might want it to get it together. You might want to get it together. Stop stifling people of color voices when it comes to these damn writer rooms. Ain't that what you trying to talk about on her anyway? You can't be trying to fight injustice on your damn in your damn project, and you're literally perpetuating the same thing in your own damn backyard. It don't work that way, Katie. It don't work that way. But outside of that, the actors, amazing. I love them. I stand. It was cool, y'all. It was cool. What y'all want from me? It was cool. It was cool. I think Euphoria is better, but it was alright. It was cool. It was cool for what it was. Y'all better take these notes that I gave y'all, episode by episode, writers. Here's the thing. If y'all would like to send me in advance the script, I will absolutely read it. If you would like to send me in advance a copy of next season, I will absolutely watch it and give you guys my notes. Absolutely. You can always hit me up. I'm here. I'm available. I'm here at your disposal, as long as you're going to treat me correctly.